Welcome in once again. I'm Gabriel. You're watching Drum Tip Tuesday, and in this video we're going to work once again on the weak hand. As I've said before, the right hand is not super strong and the left hand super weak. It's not necessarily a muscular thing, it's more of a neuromuscular thing, or the connection between the head and the hand. How do you work on that? You put it to task. You take a task that the left hand is not accustomed to doing and you make it do that. In this rhythm, I'm taking something simple that I usually do, like play the floor tom on the backbeat occasionally instead of the snare drum, but I'm going to do it now to the left hand with a sort of, big air quotes here, floor tom. It's just a 12-inch tom. I just put it on my left, tuned low. Putting the floor tom on the left hand, and this just sort of makes the left hand go from the tom to the hi-hat to the floor tom, right? 12-inch floor tom, instead of that motion being on this side. And I put a little linear figure in there, some ghost strokes that overlap in a weird way, and so we will work on that. Speaking of which, beat one. It's real simple. You just have kick, right, left, kick, with the left hand orchestrated first on the hi-hat, right hand on the first tom. And this is what that sounds like. Beats 2 and 3. It's a little bit more tricky. And for this, I find that I have to put them together. It doesn't really work making an example of beat 2 by itself and beat 3 by itself. It's better to demonstrate it together. You break it down however you have to. Here's a little preliminary exercise though. Take the backbeat, the typical backbeat with the left hand on the snare drum, 2 and 4, eighth notes on the hi-hat, and play the kick drum rhythm. Just pick the kick drum rhythm out of that. I think basically what it is the and of 2 and the of 2, and then it's the E of 3, then the and of 3. Ba-boom, ba-boom. So like 1, 2, ba-boom, ba-boom, right? You just want to make an exercise of that, like this. And now that you know how that goes, let's put the other stuff around it. You're just going to have right, left on the snare drum, being careful to accent the right hand on the snare drum. Left hand ghost stroke, have your 2 kicks, and then your 2 kicks later there, being careful to pay special attention to the way that the ghost stroke overlaps. You have the downbeat of 3 and the E of 3. They kind of cross over, like you have just a ghost stroke, then the ghost stroke, and the kick drum, then the kick drum. Pay real close attention to that, and this is what that sounds like. Beat 4. Now you're just going to have, finally, our floor tom, our weak hand floor tom backbeat. They're going to have the kick, and then right left again, but right left being orchestrated on the first tom. Now what you're going to want to note here is that between beats 4, you can see it more on the repetition, between beat 4 and beat 1 of the repetition, you're really just going to have kick right left, kick right left, kick right left 3 times in a row, starting on the E of beat 4. So it's really quite simple. It's just like, kick right left or right left kick. We've all done that a million times. As far as, the big rock fills, probably the first big rock fill we played was that triplets, So that part's not too hard. It's just a matter of the orchestration. Once you figure that out, once you figure out that little syncopated kick drum thing in there, break it down one beat at a time. It should be fun. Let's break it down now, tempo-wise, and play it at 3 different tempos, sort of slow, medium, and fast, all together.